Hello twin flames, welcome to my channel. Whether you're new or you're coming back, I'm so happy you're here. Let's dive right in. We are doing a classic check-in of the feminine and masculine energies. We'll take a look at one other aspect of the journey and see what's happening there for each of the counterparts, and we'll get messages that will be how each of them sees the connection at this time, what's going on their mind. This is the conscious mind. All right, so we are starting with an oracle card to begin with, and the first I start with the divine feminines, and I actually got two cards. I haven't seen them yet, but yeah, let's dive right in. But don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and share it with others to help me circulate this message with more people. Just a reminder that starting next Friday, April 5th, I'm gonna be running an online platform show. It's going to be running on multiple platforms with video and also on podcast platforms as a podcast, all major platforms. It's going to be called Mindfully Awake. You'll definitely hear more about it next week, and there will be some more advertising information on the community tab, and I'll link it here as well. This is going to be going out live every Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, you can catch the recording, and I'm so excited. And this first show is going to be about my story, how I came to be who I am today, and the tools and services that I'm using, that I'm providing. How am I doing my light work? How am I doing my service? And how you can benefit from it. So especially if you're new to the channel, or you're still getting the hang of it, or you've so far just been watching the videos, but you don't even really know, maybe you haven't thought about what I do outside of these readings, or who I am, and things like that. I have quite a diverse story. For those of you who have been longer around, you know this little bit of that, but I would say it's worth hearing about. Even if it doesn't get you interested in the show itself or what I'm doing, my services, hopefully that will be an inspiration for you of how much you can accomplish and look outside the box and all of those things that, see the impossible is possible. And I'm not saying that I'm like on top of the world and I've achieved everything I've ever wanted, but it's more about, there is still kind of a stereotype, a limited belief about people who get out there in public, because that's one of the main things, and like for the majority of us, that's really the thing. You start with like living your life and leading by example just throughout, like with your friends and families, people who are naturally already around you. They do notice, they know, they pay attention, they listen, they look, they watch. Don't think that it goes unnoticed. Everything you do, you communicate, decisions you make, it's known, and people pay attention who are around you already. But a lot of times this is for us as light workers, as twins, this is not enough. And our mission is so much bigger than just living our life so that other people just naturally can get inspired who are already in our vicinity, right? So now with the internet, with all this online streaming devices and platforms, we have so many more opportunities where we don't need to actually travel the world or get a big audience in an auditorium or something to deliver the message, to interact. And we'll do a lot more of that. I was just talking to my producers. I'll go back to my Facebook page, which is called Mindful Bamboo Wisdom, by the way, and I'll be doing polls. I'll be sharing some more background to the topics I'm going to be covering, because going forward, obviously the topic's going to be around mindfulness and wellness. So welcome to the new ascended age. But let's see what we have for divine feminines watching. Your effortless effort is fully required. Essentially preaching to the choir from what I was just talking about. And I'm galactic starseed blooming. Yes, thank you very much. I didn't even see the cards, but you get the point. You are a galactic seed, baby. You are an ancient soul, and you have so many gifts that this universe really needs, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So with your twin, without your twin, don't wait for a special moment. Don't think that you won't be able to do it by yourself. If anything, get in touch with me. And by the way, my first coaching session, like the intro session, is free. It's gonna be a shorter one, usually take 15 to 20 minutes, but I'm still gonna listen to your questions, your objectives, your tasks. I don't know, somewhere where you feel like you could use some help, and we'll see how I can help you out. I don't have special programs or packages for like spiritual business training or something like that, not yet anyway, but that could definitely be one of the topics that we can discuss. For the masculines, we have number 10, deliver your greatest gift to the world. So essentially, continuation of the same message. I'm not going to speak too much about it. I'm just going to say divine masculines also have a mission. They have the giftings, they have everything. And yeah, generally speaking, they're more 3D oriented. So if for us, it could be a little bit more into like, I don't know, energy work, right? Talking about other realms or karma, these things. For masculines, it could be more down to earth in terms of like, how is it implemented, right? Like, how are people building local community or their family? I don't know, relationships of parents and children. I've seen so much cool content lately about men talking about being a father, how they see that role, how it transforms in their head as they get more experience, and how it transforms themselves, right? Like, how deep is that? It seems pretty much like on the surface, on the nose, like, oh my god, yeah, how much more we're gonna hear about it? But this is still such an undeveloped topic, even today, even with all the information we have access to. It's still, a lot of times it's a taboo topic that men just don't talk about among themselves, and at other times they do, but there's still so many like old-fashioned stereotypes around it, right? Or obviously, if those fathers still have their wounding from the childhood, then that's the perspective they're gonna have on this for their children, right? So it's not even a conscious bias, it's unconscious bias, but it exists. So whichever way you want to approach it, like maybe these guys like don't see them necessarily immediately like the teachers that are supposed to preach something to the big audiences, but even if it starts with them like wanting to be a better father, understanding like why this is triggering me, why this is difficult for me to do these things with my kids or to speak about this, like things like that, right? They get brought up and they open up topics of conversations, and that's where yeah, so like, but it doesn't diminish the value of this content, of the service, of the light work, right? It's all that. So masculines, don't feel like you don't have work to do, or you're falling behind just because you don't really understand as much of the spiritual and energy aspect of it. Okay. I'm gonna run through this quickly now because I've been talking a lot, but somebody needed to hear that message. 301s, set your intentions, baby. Yeah, we just had the full moon, so it's kind of like showing you the fruits of your labor in this last cycle. That was also a lunar eclipse, if you missed it, in Libra. But this is also kind of, it opened up the gateway. I spoke about it a lot more in my lunar eclipse reading a couple of days ago. But essentially now this next big milestone is the 8th of April, which is the solar eclipse, a total solar eclipse. And that's going to be the new moon. And it's very important because the new moon in Aries this time, yes. That's essentially when we set intentions, right? It also marks, according to some people in this community, marks the start of a new phase, a new cycle, a new like 7-year cycle for the twins, right? Like that's gonna be like the actual start of new time. Right now we're in that shadow period as we're getting closer and closer. We're so close, we can feel it on the visceral level, right? So definitely make sure you're very clear on what you're setting yourself up for, at least for the foreseeable future, right? I'm not saying necessarily 7 years, but maybe this year, start with that next 3 months or something. Be very clear what you're going to be doing and why. I'm not saying day by day, but you know what I mean. And yeah, 10 of Pentacles. What is that 10 of Pentacles story in your case? Is it more about family? Is it about the service you're doing for your local community? Is it getting certain income so you can accomplish XYZ, right? And always try to focus not on the amount of money, but what do you need that for, right? Like, what is it for you? What's that abundance? Plan it, think about it, see it, imagine it. Feminines, for you, you have Seven of Swords clarified by Two of Pentacles. So this is, to me, this is having some trouble with seeing clearly what's the highest priority right now. So I would just say, try to get out of your own way. Try to get rid of the foggy brain and like a brain fog, right? It's called. And do not get carried away with what either what your old plan was or what other people are asking you to do, right? Like, I'm not saying that's not relevant, but don't think that something is a priority just because of that. And again, we can have that bias, especially if we're still healing the people-pleasing concept, or you know, like if you're at work and your boss is giving you objectives, it's like, well, why wouldn't I listen to that? But there are smart ways to work with it, right? And you don't have to sabotage your work immediately by saying like, no, I don't have time for that right now, right? There are different ways you can play it out, but it's very important to be conscious about it. That's what I'm trying to underline here. With the masculines, our favorite Fool, clarified by Four of Cups. And the masculines are kind of going into this new phase with the hope that they aren't gonna miss a chance, they aren't gonna miss the opportunity, and almost like see the blessing in disguise kind of idea, right? So they don't push away something important on their destiny, on their path, just because it doesn't look good, it doesn't look right, it scares them, and they'll be just like, oh, no, I'm just gonna run away from this, right? So this is like having that hope that I'm gonna recognize what's mine, what's for me. Additional question, Five of Pentacles clarified by Five of Swords. Two of like the, you know, a few worst cards that that we have in tarot from the perspective of like the token, the message that they bring. But I want to turn this around a little bit and see, this is about like mentality for sure, with Five of Pentacles here. Being left out, feeling like you have to do it alone, or maybe for the both counterparts. But this is actually talking about changing that around, changing the storyline, like seeing the illusion in that. And for, this is a collective reading. For some of you, it will mean that there's your responsibility in it as well. It's not just on another person that they got you into this place of sadness and loneliness. For other people, it's like you're not actually alone. Like, you know, like this is your perspective, and it's very, very tunnel vision. Not to upset anyone, but like look outside the box. So what do feminines need to know about this? The Wheel of Fortune clarified by Eight of Cups. Yeah, so feminines are supposed to walk away from specific expectations of like, this person is supposed to do this by that date, right? Or by this time, like I'm supposed to make this amount of money. Or was this person, like this is a good person for dating, so I'm expecting them to ask me out, right? And I mean, I'm giving you just examples, right? But, or with my twin flame, I don't know, they started talking to me again, so I assume that we'll start dating no later than next month, right? And so maybe you, in your 3 months plan, 6 months plan, you already note something down for the two of you, right? Seems like a very innocent idea and kind of makes sense, right? If you're talking again, if there is an interest there, but be careful with that, just not to fixate on something that's actually not going to bring the best outcome for you. I'm gonna go through this quickly, sorry guys, just because I really have to jump off like basically right now. For the masculines, we have the Emperor clarified by Two of Cups. The masculines are changing around the illusion that that they're not really in charge, they don't have anything to do with to say here. Is it because they're not feeling strong enough, or because they're not feeling like how do I say, like it depends on them, you know, like it's just like if it happens, it happens, right? Like they don't really, like, their action doesn't change anything. That's the illusion, and they're changing it around now. They understand that it totally makes a difference. Their actions, their vision, their message. How does the feminine sees the connection? Six of Swords and another Wheel of Fortune. It is destiny. It is bringing in comfort, gratitude. I'm hearing harmony, right? Like it's bringing in the higher balance. It's like there is individual balance. This is a higher balance when like the pieces of a puzzle come together and a lot more things start making sense and fall into places. Oh my God, like we keep getting these amazing cards from Divine Masculines, how they see the connection. 10 of Cups, the Sun, it speaks for itself. The happiest card in the deck, emotional fulfillment. In this deck, it's even like a fairy tale, like a Disney castle with swans. Seriously, that's how they see the connection. Do you need to hear anything else? I think this case is closed. Yeah, so masculines have this as like the ultimate fairy tale dream, happily ever after. That's what it is for them, right? It's just about how do I bring it about? What is my part in it? In this card, this is the After Tarot. There are two people, right? Both twins are in here, right? Like they understand it's not just gonna be handed to them on a gold platter. They need to do something for it. That's the tricky part. But this is the encouragement, the excitement, and the enthusiasm. All right, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you guys so much, and I'll be back with more readings very, very soon.